Look at that. Back on the Appalachian Trail. Now, we walked this about 6-7 years ago, and we went up the path here. We're going to go across the bridge. Hold on while we get some traffic going by us. And we hiked up and we made our little campsite up there, which we'll show you when we get up there.
So we're on our way to Upper Goose Pond. We're on the highway here, crossing the Mass Pike, headed to Upper Goose Pond Cabin. Coming up to the sign for the cabin. You can see the sign up ahead. Whoops, false alarm. No sign for the cabin yet. It says Upper Goose Pond Natural Area. Camp only in designated areas. Do not build fires. And somebody wrote unfair under it. And there's a little box here. And somebody left an emergency ration in here for the thru hikers, which we're not going to eat because it's for thru hikers. And the last entry says, Happy May Day, except for the mayflies. Hiking here, first of new season's nice day. Cloudy, some bugs. And that was today, I think. Today's May 2nd. Yes, so that was today. And there is some bugs out. These little bugs have just started to come out first time this year, and it's kind of humid. So we're going to make our entry. The Goose Pond Road from here is 2.6 miles. And another day we're going to park on Goose Pond Road and we're going to come in the 2.6 miles to this point here. So on another day we're going to cover this part of the trail. And we found some tent sites. It looks nice out here. Tent sites are spaced a little bit apart. This is Pittsfield Road, although on my map it's called Mount Washington Road. It's very cold and windy today. So far every day of this trip has had some weather disaster. But we're going to be heading south. We're going to try to make it to the October Mountain Shelter. That's 2.4 miles. That's our destination today. Well, it's very windy, and the good thing about the wind is that there's no mayflies, but it's a little cold. We're happy the sun is out today. It might be the only day we see the sun all week this week. And we didn't pack enough gloves, and we didn't pack enough warm clothing, so we're wearing our rain gear to try to keep warm. just rounded the corner. We didn't think we were going to make it to the shelter, but we just rounded the corner and we see the outhouse and the shelter thing. So we think we made it 2.4 miles to October Mountain Shelter. We're surprised we made it. We didn't think we were gonna walk 2.4 miles.
Well, we reached the mountain cabin here, and this is where Appalachian Trail hikers will come. And they'll set up inside here, and this is the October Mountain Shelter. And it's fairly clean. You can have a broom in here for cleaning up afterwards when they're done. And they have a guidebook in here, guest book to write in. And you notice once again the ropes. It uses to tie up the food so that animals don't get into their food. And it's nice. It has 2 bunk beds over here. It has another set of bunk beds over here. And it has these ladders up on the sides. It comes up over the top. And then there's a little shelter up over the top there that you can sleep in. So if you're an Appalachian Trail hiker, this is where you'll come after a long hike to set up tent.
This is the outhouse. Actually, I don't think I'm going to use it. It doesn't look too bad. Good to put toilet paper always in baggies though, because the mice will get into it. But since I don't have to really go, really don't have to really, yeah, so I think I'm just not going to use it right now, but it doesn't look too bad.
Well, here we are, back where we were yesterday, except we went that way. Back on the Appalachian Trail, we're heading down towards Mount Graylard, but we're not going to Mount Graylard. Now we're going to go maybe about 2, 3, maybe 4 miles out that way. We're going to turn around and back. So, let's see what we can find.
Beaver flooding ahead. Please follow temporary flag reroute. Beaver flooding. Does that mean there's a beaver dam down there? Well, it's starting to rain. The forecast predicted rain today at noontime, and it's just about noontime, so they're pretty right on. It's just starting to rain. We're kind of excited because we actually made 3 miles this way, and we're coming out to a main road. And see, we came from Pittsfield Road. The Pittsfield Road is 3 miles away, so we got to go back 3 miles. So today our total mileage was 6 miles, which actually is a good mileage for us. And tomorrow we'll be able to start the other side of this road here, which the name of this road escapes me, but it was something with a B, and it wasn't Beach because that was the one we were supposed to have passed and didn't. But we were doing really well. This part of the trail from Pittsfield Road, up, 3 miles north, isn't very scenic. It's very swampy. We'll probably never hike it again, but you have to hike it once. So at least I recovered it. Well, we've been walking through woods, that were pretty much the same for, seems like 2 miles. A lot of hardwood, ground cover. And then we came to the swamp, so although we've seen a lot of swamps, it's a little change on this trail. Well, we didn't think we were going to make it to these high tension lines because it was 3.8 miles, which is a lot of mileage for us to cover. And all of a sudden we came out of the woods and we see the high tension line, so we're almost to the shelter.
Well, here we are. Crystal Mountain Campsite, 6.7 miles. Basket Brook Campsite, 15.8 miles. And if you go in the opposite direction, October Mountain Shelter, which is where we were just 2 days ago, 8.8 miles from here. And Upper Goose Pond Cabin, you remember that? That was that one where we saw the camper up there and he was looking for coffee. And that's 18.1 miles from here. Well, as you can see, the distance is quite vast. We're traveling on the Appalachian Trail. And right now we're going up to Kaywood Shelter, which is 0.17 miles from here, to eat lunch.
Actually, it's pretty scenic up here because you got this view up at the top here. There's a sign inside here about black bears. Somebody's handmade people out here. This shelter was named after a grandma who hiked the Appalachian Trail, Grandma Kay. For 47 years, Kay Wood lived right on the Appalachian Trail near Dalton, where she met and befriended countless of weary hikers. In 1989, she would be completing the trail end to end and spending her 70th birthday at one of her rest stops on this journey. Living on the trail back then actually prepared her for her own long backpacking adventure. Her home on South Street became a recognized stopover for foot hikers. Among the messages written, "Stop at the woods in Dalton, they'll welcome you." Hikers came in growing numbers, and she recalls on one occasion when 7 hikers stayed for supper and later spread out their sleeping bags in the living room in her comfortable rambling house. Okay, we're here on County Road, and we had a terrible time finding County Road. We found out that it doesn't go through to Lenox, even though it says it on the map it goes through to Lenox. It's not passable that way. We had just on all kinds of roads trying to find it, so it's hard to find the roads the AT crosses. So we finally found it. Now, if we walk north of here, we're going to come to the October Mountain Shelter, which is where we were a couple days ago. So we're trying to meet where we were a couple days ago. So we're going to go up a hill. Actually, there's a top of a mountain up here that we're going to go to. And we're going to go about 1.2 miles to the shelter. Hopefully everything goes smooth. We already had a hard morning. The forest ranger told us that we were going to see a bear if we went down this street just a little bit. And we get to get your camera ready, and we went down there, and there was no bear. We got lost on this dirt road. The thing was full of bugs, and the trails were ugly. So finally, we're here on County Road. This looks peaceful. We're starting to climb up. So here we go. We think we've been walking like 2 miles. It's kind of hot out here right now because the leaves aren't out yet. The sun's beating on us. Now we're out of the spruce forest. We're getting ready to give up. See the pine grove over there? I thought it was in there. I think we got to be close to the shelter. So we'll go a little bit further. This area looks familiar. It's right around this corner. We're for sure, but our feet are really burning. I was right. In this pine stand here. There's the October Mountain Shelter. That's where we were 2 days ago. There's a sign there for it. Actually, this is the path that's supposed to go to it. So, I guess we can go up and have our orange, and then we'll turn back.
Appalachian Trail in Massachusetts. Just flew into North Adams. They have this really elaborate footpath that takes you across the river, and it takes you across the railroad tracks over here. And it's going to dump us over here. I don't see where the Appalachian Trail comes in from there, but I see a sign down there pointing that way. So it looks like we're going to be walking off kind of in that direction there.
We're on the AT. We're heading north of North Adams, and we just came in this driveway and through this house here. There's a little river here. They got a beautiful garden. So you come out of the trail and you get dropped right into these people's backyards. And they have a really nice property over here. There's a little footbridge and very scenic. So we're starting out and we're going to get to the Sherman Brook campsite, 1.8. We'll probably get to the Pine Cobble Trail intersection. We'd like to get to the Vermont state line, but it's 4.1 and we probably won't get there today. But that's okay because we're going to come in from the other side another time. So we'll be able to meet wherever we get to today another time. And so Seth Warner's shelter we'll see another day. The trail's been following this scenic river the whole way up. We've been climbing gradually. It's a cool day, but we're getting warm, you know, because it's not that cold. It's probably like 70-something degrees. Low humidity, but it's, you know, when you're climbing it's getting warm. It's really pretty. It's really, really scenic. Lots of little waterfalls, and it's been prettier really than the other part of the trail. So we're here at the spring. This is Heat Spring. You see it down there in those rocks. And we're going to go down and filter some water.
Well, here we are, and we're at the springs. Now, as hikers, very important that you locate a spring to get water, because as you know, going through is very difficult to find water when you're hiking the Appalachian Trail. You could actually walk for miles before you even reach, you know, another civilization. So, as true hikers, you go into your needy little pack here, and you pull out what's called Pure, which is a water filter. Now what this does is this takes out some of the impurities of the water. Okay, it has sets of tubes here. It's rather easy to connect. You just pull off the little black tabs right here that's attached to it. Of course, sometimes after you use them for a while, they tend to seal up.
I can see the water bubbling up from the bottom of the springs. And the water looks so clear. Here we can see it bubbling now. Too bad it wasn't a hot spring. It'd be excellent if there was a big hot springs on this trail.
As you can see, tabs are sometimes hard to get off, especially if it's been sitting in for a while. When it's fresh, it usually comes right off, but when it's been used a while and you put the cap back on it, it makes a seal around. It makes it difficult to get on. You notice this lettering is actually inside of it. It tells you which way to put it. Okay, such as in. So this is your in tube right here. So your little filter right down here. So you're going to take the tube, and you insert the thing in here. And it just slips right on there. Okay, this is the part that's going to go into the water. So you just take that, it has a little flotation device on it, okay? And you adjust the flotation device so that the filter goes into the water, and this floats on the top of the water. You want to set it up so that when you put it in, that it's not touching the ground. Because if it touches the bottom, what will happen is it'll start sucking up dirt. So you kind of want it kind of like that inside there. Now, take the second tube right here, which goes into the very top part. Okay, and that's marked out. And that plugs into here. Now, after you get this attached, when you first use the filter, you want to make sure that you got good clean water coming out first. Okay, make sure that the filter is actually filtering. So you're going to take it and you're going to hold it like this. You're going to bring your thing in here, and then you're going to start pumping. You lift the handle up, like so, and you're going to push it down. Okay, see? Now you got water coming out right now? Okay, so you're going to pump that a couple of times, just to make sure that you got some good clean water coming through there and the filter's actually going through. And after that, you take your bottle, take off the cap of it, put your thing inside, you actually set the bottle right down, and you're ready to start pumping. Whoops! That's not a good thing to happen. Sometimes you pump and you get a little carried away there and knock the tube out. Now the object of this is, of course, is so that you have clean water to drink. There we go. And then have some nice, clean, drinkable H2O.
And how does it taste?
Tastes just like water.
Fresh mountain water?
Fresh mountain water straight from the springs.
We're here just up a little ways from the springs. This is Pete's Spring primitive tenting area. We got a platform to sit your tent on so you're nice and flat, and you can have fires up here. So there's a fire pit. Here's one. You got to really look in the woods off the trail because they're really hard to see. There might be a couple more up here. I thought there was supposed to be 3 of these. The problem with these little boulders is they're going to be slippery going down too, because if you slipped on one of these things, you could easily twist your ankle or you could really hurt yourself because these things are sharp. And you know, they're hard to climb. So if we see the bad weather route, we might take the bad weather route down. This is why there's a bad weather route.
It's the first view we've seen all this whole trail. And we've been climbing now 2.8 miles. And I don't know if that's the town way down there, but man, we've been a long ways if it is. We may not make the Vermont state line, but we've done really well.
I think the airport is located, it's down, we went up this valley right here, and it's down over here at this corner. So basically we came up right between this mountain here and this mountain. We climbed up like this and then around and came up here.
Well, it's almost 4:30, so unfortunately we're gonna have to head back before the Vermont state line. But another day we'll do it from the other side. Okay, we're here on Mount Graylark, but it's October 12th. It's actually kind of cold today. As you can see, we're wearing winter coats and gloves. And this is the AT North that we're going to go to the viewpoint that we went to when we flew in here before. And then we're going to do a circle trail around and see some falls.
Well, here we are. We're on the AT, and we're heading towards Schumann Brook Campsite and up to Mount Graylark, although we won't make it that far.
Okay, so we're here at this junction here. We came to this point here. Now the AT is going to go north that way towards Vermont. And we're going to go to this viewpoint that we've been to before. And we're going to make a circle. So we're going to go around, we're going to go up Mount Prospect. We're going to come back around Moneybrook Trail, the Moneybrook Falls, and then see Wilbur's clearing, the AT shelter. So that's going to be our return trail. So we're going to head this way. We came up from here, that's the other viewpoint we saw, and now we've come up here to the top of Mount Prospect, which doesn't have a view. So we're going to continue on this trail here till we come around and we hit Moneybrook Trail. So we're not at the top anymore, we're headed down, but we did come to this view, which is a little bit different than the other side. You kind of see more of the kind of rolling mountains over this way, and you can see that the sun is kind of shining on those mountains over there. It's just not shining over here. Look at this terrain map. And I guess from Mount Prospect at 2,690, the trail drops to 2,500, 2,250, 2,000, 1,750, and 1,500, which is then where it kind of starts to turn a little bit. So I guess we really didn't notice that part, that it drops 1,000 feet on this side, where on the other side it stayed pretty much on the same ridge. I guess we didn't really look at this part here. And then that's where we make our turn onto Moneybrook, which that looks like it stays pretty level, I think. So I guess this looks correct. Okay, here it is. We're at Moneybrook Falls. This thing's spectacular because it's actually way up there. Now we're headed to the AT lean-to, and then back to the parking lot. Just got to this intersection here, and we hear some geese. This way here goes back to another parking lot. It's not the one we're parked at, and that says to Summit by way of Old Summit Road and Appalachian Trail, 0.3 miles. So you can get to the AT that way, but that's not the AT. We need to stay this way and to join the AT near where we parked. But we're almost out, just a little farther.
this is Wilbur's Clearing AT shelter. And you can see all the thru hikers are gone through here already for the year, so no one's here right now. There's no bunks in this one. It's pretty clean, it's all smoked up. It's a little fire pit.
Hello. This is the second day of our hiking trip. Started our trip over on that side of the road. And now we've crossed the road and we're going to start our trip going on this side of the road. This is going to take us up to Mount Williams.
Well, we've been climbing constantly since the parking lot. We're not sure if it was harder than the other thing we did yesterday. And we're not sure if it was harder than from North Adams south up that hill. But it's constantly up, pretty steep climb. Oh, look at this one. On the 11th, sunset from Mount Williams, sweet. Well, as you can see today, we don't have much of a view over there. It's supposed to be a beautiful view of the White Mountains. And a lot of other people look like they had good days. So up here's somebody who says, I'm cold, wet, tired, hungry, and dirty. And I want to go home.
Those clouds racing across.
Well, we're still headed towards Greylark. We thought maybe when we sat down we were on Mount Fitch, but actually Mount Fitch didn't have a view, so we think maybe we're further along than we originally thought. And now we've come to this area that suddenly we're getting hemlocks again, which is really nice. And they're really healthy up here too. They're just really, really nice. You can still see your breath up here. It's pretty cold.
Well, believe it or not, we were down there at the parking lot and I said we were going up to Mount Greylark, but we were going to make it today. Well, I was just a little bit wrong. If you look up top there, this path leads to the top of Mount Greylark.
So we think this is the final stretch. We think up at the top of these stairs is the top. Not sure, but that's what we think. Well, this isn't the top, this is the road to the summit. We have to keep going across the road. Well, we made it. This is the top. This is some kind of old ski building. It says emergency overnight only. So I guess if you're hiking and you get up here and you really need to get out of the wind, you can come inside this building and camp. So I guess they leave it open. It says in the 1930s people had to carry their skis up the mountain for 2 hours for a little ski down. So this is some kind of an old ski cabin.
It's November! And there's snow on the ground! And it's only the first week of November, Lori's birthday week. And can you believe it? Look at this. We have snow on the ground here. Well, we're in Tyringham, Massachusetts, coming back on to the AT. If you remember, during the summer, we did this part of the trail, which went all the way up to the top in a kind of a switchback kind of way, all the way up. Very, very steep trail. Well, today, we're going to take the other trail going down this hill. all the way down to the bottom where there's a field as we continue our AT trekking. Here we are. We're at the Shaker campsite, which is right up top here. And we're going to be going down here. We're not going to make it to Goose Pond. We already did Goose Pond Cabin Array, which is 9.5 miles from here. But we're probably going to go a little further down this way until we hit the road. Then we're going to venture back up this way again. As you can see, the shelter's up here for those people who are through hikers and they stop off.
We are at the Shaker tent site, and it's fairly small. There's just these 2 tent platforms and a fire pit, a privy over there. Okay, we're gonna turn around here at this power line. Now Monday, we're gonna come in from the road and meet here at the power line. So this trip we will be finished at Tyringham area. This is where we went yesterday. From Jerusalem Road down to the Shaker campsite until about where this clearing started in here, so we didn't go that far yesterday. But anyways, today we're doing this part here from Main Road Tyringham up to Webster Road, where we were before. If you remember, this is where we parked here on Goose Pond, and we camped here. There was a little spring here. We went around this pond here that had that skull and crossbones. We came out to here, we turned around. So today we're gonna go over here. Well, here we are starting the trail in Tyringham. We're going from Main Road in Tyringham north to Webster Road. And Webster Road we went to this past summer. That's where we had camped out and had the remote camping experience.
Well, back onto the road again, up from the pond that had all wildlife at it. Just noticed the trail sign up here is missing. Most likely the local youths had nothing better to do with their time, came out and destroyed the sign. But that's our society. Now we're going to head back up the trail again. And we're going to eat some lunch and have some hot cocoa and tea on this nice cold November day.
In AT from Monterey, Main Road in Monterey, and we're going to go south across Jerusalem Road and up to the cobbles and to meet at the pipeline where we were the other day. So here we go, we're headed south through this field. So today we're going to Jerusalem Road and a little bit beyond. The Jerusalem Road is only 1.1 miles. We've been to Mount Wilcox north and south before, so once we finish this piece, we'll connect a big chunk of the AT. We're glad it's November because this is the part that goes through the field in Monterey. So here we go. It's your turn. Oh, you did better than me. And there's this cute little boardwalk now. Right now it's kind of covered with ice still.
Well, these things are designed to help people, hikers, get over the stone walls and the barbed wire fence. This area is used for cattle. Barbed wire is used to keep the cattle in. Top of this road, Tyringham Main Road is straight down below, and Upper Goose Pond is this way, about 1 miles. Okay. They also have retiring post office, 0.6 miles. This is most important to most hikers since their supplies come in through the postal service. They mail out their package to the postal service so that they can get their supplies at different locations along the trail. Problem with that is it's 0.6 miles down that hill to get to the post office.
Now we're up to the trail that the cobble comes off of. The cobble I read was some type of a rock outcropping that overlooks Tyringham. And it's some sort of a loop trail that goes around. The AT, I guess, actually doesn't go to the cobble because it's pointing the cobble that way. And AT to Georgia, south, this way, Maine that way. So right now we're going to go and connect where we were, 2 days ago on the AT, and then we'll see how we feel. Maybe we can do the cobble if we don't have any knee pain yet, because we still got to go all the way back. But we'll see how we're doing. So we're here in Massachusetts on the Appalachian Trail. This is County Road. Now we were here last year and we went the other way to October Mountain Shelter. Now this time we're going south to Walling Mountain. Now we've also been to the Walling Mountain from the other side before, so today we have to meet where we were on Walling Mountain. So this is where we parked right here on County Road. And we came in and we skirted a swamp. Then we went through another swamp. This must be that swamp that we saw the duck. Then we came up a little bit, up to here. Now we're descending. Okay, then we're going to come around the shore of Finney Pond and then climb Walling Mountain. And that's where we were before. We made it to Walling Mountain. That's the rock that we ate on the last time we were here, and we were kind of looking out over this little view. There's not much of a view up here. We realized that it's running late, and we started to get a little stressed for time because it's 10 after 4 now, and we think Kripalas starts serving at 6:30, so we may miss dinner now because we were enjoying the trail too much. So now we're going to turn back and try to hustle out and maybe just get a shot of the pond and just do the best we can to make it out. Well, here we are today. We had a rough night last night. It's Monday and we're in Sheffield, Mass on the Appalachian Trail. And we just came off of Kellogg Road, which the trail actually follows Kellogg Road, and now we're headed south to Shays Monument. Well, this piece is interesting because we're walking right along the Housatonic River. We just went through a cornfield where 2 places were crushed down that we don't know if it was a big bear making his home in there. But it's kind of, it's different, it's a different part of the trail. You can hear traffic though because they're really close to Route 7. We've been skirting this field. It's been good and bad. There's a lot of wildflowers we normally don't see. I'm not sure what this is, but
I think it could be St. John's wort. I'll have to look it up when we get home. Mosquitoes are hovering. So we'll have to look this one up. So we've seen a couple wildflowers we normally don't see in the woods because they're in this field. And we've just been going right around this cornfield. And then it's going to cross Route 7, so we just went over a little bridge and still kind of heading along. We're headed towards another field now. So we come to more wildflowers, and you can see that this whole field here is filled with these wildflowers here. They're kind of tall, and they have like this pink top on them, and they're all in here. And some of them are like 6 feet tall, maybe even taller. This part's really dense with wildflowers.
Railroad crossing. And I hear a train coming.
There's a train coming down the tracks, and we're sitting right here. We probably should get up so he doesn't see us sitting on the tracks and think we're not gonna move. But he is coming closer, and I think this is the first time I've ever sat in front of a freight train like this. And you can see he's right down there. He probably sees me at this point, so I'm gonna get up.
Well, we reached the end of our trail for today. This is going to be our turnaround point. There's a monument right here. It's the last battle of Shays' Rebellion. It was here on February 27th, 1787. So they put a plaque here to commemorate this. Behind me, you can see some AT hikers who are going northbound. So this is the first group of AT hikers that we've been seeing. We saw about 2 of them prior to this, and then we got this group coming through. So June, ending of June, is about the time that they start funneling through here.
It's Memorial Day weekend 2006, and we're at the Racebrook Trailhead, headed up a steep climb up to Mount Everett and then down to a tent site. So we're very excited to be here. Of course, it's hot. It's about 86 degrees, and up until this week, it's been in the 40s. So all of a sudden, when we go to hike, all of a sudden it got hot. I just got bug spray in my eye. And you can see, here's the thing about the black bears on the Appalachian Trail. And then this is where we are now. We're going to go up Racebrook Trail, which goes up and then turns, and then we see the falls, passes Racebrook Campsite, goes up to Mount Everett, look out, and then goes around and goes down to the Hemlocks lean-to. Now we have to go to the Elbow Trail tomorrow morning, to where we were that other day when we were here in November. So it's going to be a really hard climb, and here we go. It might be harder than Katahdin because we got the packs on. But my muscles are shaking, and I feel like You know, I must have got turned into plump city flesh this past year since we had backpacked last. My feet are starting to hurt too. So we have made it to the top after 3.5 hours of hard climb. It's beautiful up here. And there's even some wild lily of the valley over here. From the top, you can see that there's a view, but it's not like you're right at the view, because some of it is bushed in, some sides of it is brushed in. So there actually was a better view from the bottom, you know, from down there.
Well, what we have here looks to be an old shelter maybe at one time. Of course, we don't know if this is a private thing or if this is actually part of the AT or not. I mean, we just seen this as we were walking the AT and saw the stone shelter down here in this path, so we decided to check it out because we were like, gee, we up to the shelter already? Seems kind of short. But as you can see, it's pretty much run down. Roof is already pretty much caved in. Of course, stone will last forever, so it won't cave in either. There's no benches or anything in here. There's no water supply.
So we just came to this area here with this big meadow, kind of at the base of the mountain on this side. But there's a road in here, so it can't be the campsites. What are you doing? It bites in my face.
Hi, dear.
I do. I can't turn around because it bites in my face. Oh, we got in here late. We set up late. Trying to wash up in here. And somebody in the other tent site, so far they're not too bad. You can hear them talking once in a while, but they're not too bad. We got a fire going over there. So we're trying to set up the bed now. It's nice to hear the waterfall going. We heard an owl when we first got to the site. I heard an owl right at dark, and then we didn't hear it anymore. Feeling pretty tired right now, so I don't know. Have to see how we do. The last time we were here in November, Then we're gonna come back and eat breakfast and then pack up and head out. It's about 8:30, maybe even 9 now. So we made our destination. We're back here at the Elbow Trail. This morning is really humid. There's no air flowing. The sun isn't out yet, but it's really, really sticky. And it was a long descent down here because we're tired. We have to descend. Now we have to go back up, and it was like a half a mile. I was starting to think we weren't going to make it. But this is where we were in November. That's where we ate lunch, over there on those logs on that beautiful day in November that we were here. And this is the Elbow Trail where I took Dave's picture by the sign. So we're gonna head back up and eat breakfast now. I go back up that mountain and we're not carrying any water. And it was actually quite long. Well, we just set down camp. We're running a little late. It's 11 o'clock and the sun has come out. It really feels like it, it seems like it dropped a little from this morning now that the sun's come out. But, we had a nice night here. We did have neighbors, but they were fairly quiet. And, so, we had a good night. We slept early this morning until like 8:30, so I slept from like 4 to 8. And now we're climbing up that big hill to head back out.
Okay, here we are. We're back on the AT. We're in
Massachusetts on Brush Hill Road, headed south to Boardman Street, which is where we were last year when we went through that big field with ticks.
Now, this is right next to a road, so there's going to be a lot of, it's a very busy road, there's a lot of traffic that comes through this road. But anyways, it's kind of cool out. It's cloudy. It's the month of July.
The end of July. So we actually got lucky because we just had a 100-degree heat wave the other day. So luckily that has passed. So we got about 1.5 miles to go, and I brought some oranges for some trail magic that I got all the way from the Norwegian and Spa.
So we're heading down a hill, which is going to meet up with a road to where we crossed when we came through the AT here before, and we crossed through that big cornfield, if you remember, where all that high corn was, and then the grass area, and then we went across those railroad tracks.
And I got a tick on my stomach.
Yep. So that's the area we're going to be going to today. So, here we go.
The best wildflowers are always in the parking lot, right next to the car. Here's some right here. Don't know what they are. There's some purple ones across the street where the trail goes in. There's some purple ones that are interesting. I don't know what these are either. The leaves
on the bottom are kind of pointy. It's about up to my knee. This is where the trail goes in. You can see that there's an AT sign here. It's kind of grown in.
Well, it's been a pretty nice trail so far. Started off with a little bit of a climb, but then it kind of flattened out. There's a lot of mosquitoes on this trail, as you can see, buzzing around us, so it's kind of heavy with mosquitoes. But it's not too bad. We put some repellent on. They haven't been biting yet, so I'm gonna kind of hope that they don't. Kind of walking through this beautiful pine area. See these beautiful pine trees up here. You know, little pine needles and everything. So this is a nice pretty pine area. And look at this right here. Look at this. Look how red this mushroom is. And you see this mushroom? Look how red it is. I don't think I've ever seen mushrooms get so violently bright red. And we've been seeing a lot of mushrooms on the trail too. A lot of rain and everything brought out a lot of moisture, so we're getting a lot of mushrooms growing in around the area.
So we made it to Boardman Street. That's our destination. There's a car coming. We came down this big hill. The trail goes in right over there and then follows this road down to that parking lot that we parked at the last time. So, and then it goes up over Jug End. So those mountains over there are the Jug End Mountains.
Okay, we're back again.
Today is the second day of our 3-day adventure, and today we are back on Bush Hill Road and we're headed north to Tom Leonard Shelter.
Now, we've been to Tom Leonard Shelter before.
2 years ago, August of '04.
So we're going back to the same spot that we were at before. Now, this part of the trail has a lot of steep climbs. As a matter of fact, the very first beginning of the trail is actually a very steep climb.
A really steep climb. So it's about 9:30 after taking a trip into town because we forgot the sunblock. And sampling some from the drugstore, we smell like a beach now. We got our oranges here for our magic.
Yep, that's our trail magic that we're going to leave here for AT hikers who are actually in this area at this time of the year.
So, and it's a nice day. We had a nice campground last night, pretty quiet, slept okay. Sunny day, it was foggy early. Temperature right now feels okay. It might heat up later, but actually pretty good weather. So here we're headed for our climb.
Yes.
Oh my God, come here, big bird.
Oh, this is spectacular up here on these cliffs. What a spectacular cliff. Well, we got to the shelter. I got all excited because I thought it was the bypass trail because we wanted to take the bypass trail back. But actually the shelter's right down here. Been hiking 3 hours and 20 minutes. And that was 3.5 miles. It was hard. And I was hoping we could take the bypass trail back because that would cut off a little bit of it. but we couldn't find this end of the bypass trail. On the way out, we're gonna have to look harder for it. Well, this is the Tom Leonard shelter. We've been here before 2 years ago. It's a nice shelter and a nice location. Somebody left their shorts and a book on marathon running. So here we are, headed for the AT again, and it's December. It's the week between Christmas and New Year's. And it is snow flurrying. When we left home, it was fairly warm. The forecast for the next 3 days was partly cloudy. We got here, it's cold. The wind's blowing, snow is flurrying. We're in Mount Washington State Park, and we were searching for this way to get on the AT trail, the way the caretaker does. So we came down this dirt road, like 5 miles down this dirt road to this YMCA camp, and no one's at this camp now. And we found the path into the trail. So hopefully we're going to be able to get onto the AT and go down to Sages Ravine where we have to meet that way. And then we were going to try to get to Mount Race Top, but we don't know if we're going to be able to do all that today. And Dave forgot his coat and he's wearing his rain gear for work. And it's really, really cold. So we're going to try this way. Hopefully it goes on to the AT. We're not even sure, but we're pretty sure that it does. So we should be on the AT in just a few seconds. Well, the trail's pretty. It's very, very cold though and still flurrying. And we saw the trail that came in by the river back there that we got off the trail a little bit, but amazingly we found the AT. We're headed for Sages Ravine. That's where we stayed a couple of Labor Days ago, not past Labor Day, but the Labor Day before. So that's where we have to join up this way, and we're going to eat lunch there. This is the new Laurel Ridge campsite. The old Laurel Ridge campsite was closed down there. The old Laurel Ridge campsite looked much more scenic than this one. That was on like a view area in the pines. But they said they closed it for reforestation. So this one from the privy, it goes up and there's some sites in there. And then there's a spring over there. And it has tent pads. And so it doesn't look as nice as the other one was.
Well, this is the group campsite area. There's 1, 2, and 3 platforms, little very big tents. So this is for the larger groups. As you can see, it's got a little flurry activity going on here. It's not really supposed to snow today or accumulate, but it's kind of neat, you know, being out here just after Christmas and have a little snow activity going on.
So here we are, hooray! This is where we were. It's now December 2006. We were here Labor Day 2005. And we connected another little piece. So we may not finish everything we want to today, but we connected another little piece. And we have a new sign here. There's a new sign about bears now. Black bears frequent this area. Please use the bear-proof boxes for storage. This box is provided for safety as well as bears. If bears are habituated to human food, they become aggressive and may have to be relocated or killed. I don't think that was there. Well, maybe it was because it says 52004, so maybe we just didn't see it last time. Well, we probably did see it last time, we just don't remember. But we did use the bear box last time. We're going to go up here, we're going to eat lunch, even though I forgot my sandwich. Then on the way back, we're going to do some filming at the Mass-Connecticut border. And then when we get back to the trail that we took to the car, we'll see what time it is and if we can go up any further up Mount Race. We're not sure. We might have to come back another day. Thought we were going to finish Mass today, but maybe not. So this is right off the trail. This is where the old Laurel Ridge campsites used to be. And somehow it was moved for regeneration back over over on the other side of the trail, but it's so spectacular here. This would be a spectacular camping area. Well, it's quite a day. The weather was really strange, snow flurrying. It's really kind of spectacular up here to be right before sunset because the sky is changing so much. You can see the way the light is coming through the clouds and the light's changing, and you can see the fog over there. It's really, really a spectacular thing to see, you know, just the way the clouds is and everything up here. So in 2 more days, we're going to come up from the other side of Mount Everett, and we'll be back here again. And this is the place we're going to complete Massachusetts, is right here, in this spectacular location. So this is where we're going to end it all. I'm afraid that after dark we're going to get a big snow. We did listen to the weather before we went, and they said no snow. It's a good thing we got up here when we did, because see, pretty soon it's not going to be any view. Notice how that's spreading further and further in. Well, I'm afraid the park road is going to be snowed in. We particularly looked at the forecast. It wasn't supposed to snow or do anything for these next couple of days. Well, I can't say anything about this morning. I mean, I guess it's, you know, any morning that you're headed for the trail, I guess is a good morning, but it hasn't been the best. I mean, it is a sunny day, so, you know, I can't say anything, but we decided to take this pine cobble trail up to the AT. Of course, we couldn't find it. There was a sign down at the bottom that said Pine Cobble Trail, 4/10 of a mile with a parking lot. So I said, let's find the trail first. So we drove up this road that ended up being a dead end at a gate. We had to back down it. Then Dave says, park there, we'll walk, we'll try to see it. We walked down the road like a half mile, couldn't find anything. Anyways, it's been moved because this new rich $1 million housing development is built up here. And then they had a sign pointing up into the development from another road, that's the Pine Cobble Trail. And then we rode all around the development, this loop, it's all these really richy houses. And come to find out, it's down at the bottom of that new road. Now we find it, that it goes up in there. So this has all been moved since this housing development. I'm going to take this and then get on to the AT, right outside of North Adams, and then we need to go to the Vermont line, where we just were in November. And we've done this other part from North Adams to the top of this hill on the AT. We did that when we flew into North Adams a couple years ago. So now we need to join up from the Pine Cobble to the Vermont line. And I mean, it is a beautiful day. And you know, we're headed out. It's warmer than yesterday. So we just came off the 98 trail, which was incredibly long. Really long. It's a little slippery because there's a light snow, dusting of snow. And the wind has picked up, it's getting cold. But we came to this trail and we didn't know it was the AT because the blazes are very faded here. And we started going that way, south, and all of a sudden we saw a hiker. We asked her if it was the AT, and she said, yeah, this way goes to Vermont. So we don't know if this is where we were that one day that we came here, that we flew in. It could be. We'd have to watch the video again to see where we stopped and what it looked like. We may know when we head back towards the Cobble Trail, because we'll know if we see another blue trail.
Well, we made it to the Vermont line. See the little blue marker over there, marking the border between Massachusetts and Connecticut. I mean, Massachusetts and Rhode Island.
Cut.
Well, you can see a little blue marker over there, which marks the border between Massachusetts and Vermont. So, we didn't think we were going to make it here because it was running so late and it seemed so far away, but we finally made it. So all we have is a small section to do. Hopefully we get that done tomorrow, and we will complete Massachusetts.
Well, it's day 3 of our hiking 3-day adventure, and today we're headed home, unfortunately. It's the first sunny day of the trip. The other days were really, really cold, and first day was snow flurries, the second day was just cold, biting wind, and snow on the ground up in Vermont, and today we're back in Connecticut. We're on the Racebrook Trail, which is an absolutely most beautiful trail. Now, we've done this trail before this past Memorial Day, and we went up Mount Everett from here. But today we have to go the other way up Mount Race, and that will complete the Massachusetts AT. So today might be the day that we finish Massachusetts, unless we don't make it for some reason, because we do have to drive all the way home. And we're already warming up because it's a climb, and you can see my coat's already off today. So today's the first day that it's actually been, you know, nice, warm out, you know, for hiking for December. And we're headed up to see the falls, and then we're going to head up Mount Race and hopefully complete it where we were the other day. Well, we got a new group camping area too. So since the last time we were here at Racebrook, which was only 7 months ago, they've actually rerouted the trail through the campground. And someone's winter camping. It must be really cold. There's 3 tent platforms in here. Now, last time I walked off the trail to come up and look at the tent platforms. So we realized this time we're walking through the tent platforms and we're going like right by the privy. And last time the trail was down there. So this is a brand new sign. This is brand new within the past 7 months. And now you should show the tent platforms, bear food and cables, privy, and now they have a group camping area. Oh, they marked regeneration area, so they rerouted the trail away from the river a little bit and more through the campground. Yeah, this is all brand new, because I remember the sign was down there before. So we just joined up with the AT from Racebrook Falls Camp to the AT. This is all new trail. And now we have to walk back a few feet to find out where the old AT came in. Otherwise there'll be a little piece we didn't cover. And then we're going to go up Racebrook where we were yesterday, hopefully, or the day before, and finish. So this is where the old trail joined in. We found it. There's still blue blazes on the trees over there. This was the old reroute, which is like 0.3 of a mile away from where it hits now. So we came backwards. That's where Dave washed his bandana in the water. So this trail is, you know, no more used. So now we're going to go up Mount Race. Now we're going to go back the other way. So here we are. We thought we were on top of Mount Race the other day, but we actually were not on the top. We were quite far from the top, about a half a mile, but this is where we came the other day, and this is our last steps in Massachusetts.
It actually walked quite a distance along this ledge line over here, so we had a beautiful view of the valley down below as we walked over here. although it's quite long.
And Mount Race is really one of the most spectacular sites in Massachusetts, so it was a great place to end, and we're happy to have finished the state.
Yep. So this is the rest of Massachusetts. Massachusetts is done, and we're on to our next state, and